Hey guys, this is Felipe.
Hey, this is Buddha.
And today our guest is Chris from HVAC Choice Air Care.
Choice Air Care, that's right. How you doing? How's it going?
So, we've invited Chris here today. He's going to tell us a little bit about what HVAC is. I've had a few people ask me questions on what that is, and I don't have a clue or what an answer is to tell you. So, if you don't mind telling us, Chris.
Yeah, it's probably the most important thing in Texas. We rely on our air conditioning systems. It means heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. It's just the acronym for it. Everybody needs it in Texas. Otherwise, you're in a 120-degree house, and there's obvious repercussions of that. But
yeah, for sure, cause especially in Texas, because it's hot, cold. We know once it hits May, it's hot, but like even after then, it'll bounce back and forth.
So we're in the middle of February. I've already turned my AC on, my air conditioning on like 3 or 4 times, man.
Exactly.
And then the next day, it's you run the heater all day. But yeah,
that's what y'all there to do both. Because I've known Chris since him and my sister went to school together, so it's been a while.
Time, yeah.
So I know him there, and then my boy Scooter, who played softball with. That's how I came back in running into Chris. I hadn't seen him in years. But so how did you get into this?
Right, so I grew up in the industry. My dad owned a company when I was growing up. He sold it when I was younger. I had several jobs growing up, but while everybody else was out pushing grocery carts, I was helping my dad, move equipment in and out of the attic, from the age of 12 years old, just helping, I was a helper, just bringing him tools and stuff. And I can't say that I really wanted to do that, but I think it, obviously it worked out for me. Now I love it. It's a passion. So I actually went from growing up in the industry, trying to put myself through college, doing installations for other air conditioning companies as a subcontractor, and slowly built a company while I was in college and realized that I didn't, college just wasn't for me. I was already doing my thing, and we went from there for probably 3 or 4 years before I actually opened up an air conditioning company. Or had a legit name, but I was licensed and all that, already doing all the work, so it kind of built itself just by treating treating people right,
Yeah, building up your business there. So what were you going to college for?
To get a bachelor's in business, or, I was wanted to do business management actually, and, after getting my associates, like I said, man, I realized I was already running the company and would really need to keep, going, so.
Yeah, I understand that there, because I don't knock college, but I kind of preach, because I know a lot of people that aren't in their field of their degree. So they're in debt for a degree that they're not even working with. So HVAC, to do the work, right, it's basically you go through a trade school?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways. How I went about it, obviously I just grew up in the industry. I never went to a trade school or any schooling for it. And what I've seen in our industry anyways, and this may be different in other industries, but what I've seen in our industry and how I feel about trade schools is, if you think you want to hop into a trade, I feel like you should experience that trade first, or, and this isn't, I think in any industry you should try that, and just start out at the bottom. And you can keep going to school, if you, and get your degree or whatever while you're doing that, because any trade or any other industry that you learn, you can fall back on that if you decide not to keep on going to school or something, Otherwise, if you just hop right into what you think is going to be the industry or the trade that you want to do, and you get a $40,000 loan to do that, and you hop out and you realize, hey man, I didn't realize the attics are going to be 160 degrees, and it's just not a fit for me. I've seen that a million times. I can't tell you how many times. And as far as like the hands-on, you're not going to learn that in school, at least not in our industry. And they'll show you a couple of things, but you learn it by doing it. And I feel like, not having to spend the money on school and not having that debt really helped me out a lot, especially, building the company. I didn't have to pay money back in order to build my company. I didn't have to get a loan to start it. Just start from the ground up and just working hard,
Yeah.
But, and then learning this trade legitimately, and through just training with someone and being a helper at first, so. I mean, the mixed feelings in school, I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel like, again, you can do both,
Yeah. Cause Scooter, right? He was from a trade school.
He is, man, but he actually he worked with me since he was 17 years old, man.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest workers I've ever had. And he went to trade school, and he opted out, and he actually had enough knowledge going in, I think, to trade school. He was able to actually get something out of it, right?
Yeah.
And he already knew the industry, so he knew that he liked it, right? So, again, I think if you're going to do it, that's what I would say to do, something like that. In trade school's not going to hurt you, you know?
Yeah.
You can get your license a little bit quicker if you do trade school and stuff like that, but you still have to be committed to experience in the industry. There's a requirement in a lot of industries, and as far as you have to be in this industry for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever, before you can even get your license. So if you do trade school at the same time, that'll lessen that time by a little bit, maybe a year, before you get your license, but, you know.
So what's the best way to get your foot in the door as far as an employee into it?
I'd say start as a helper, you know, and it sucks, and especially I say that, but you know, I started back into the industry after Dad sold and he was in college and stuff, and actually started back in the industry at a really low rate, and then within 6 months, a year, whatever, I was back out doing installations for myself, making more money, but I had to kind of refresh and stuff, you know. So I feel like it's not the amount of money that you make going into it, even the title of the job, man. If you commit to it and you do it, you're gonna make money. It doesn't matter what it is, what industry. You just have to work your tail off and you just commit 100%. You're always gonna make money. So
Now, I'm still confused. I understand the business part of it,
right.
but as far as the labor part of it, you mentioned addicts. You mentioned what exactly do they do? Like they come in and is anything electrical? Is anything computerized? Everything is what?
So you got, in our industry, you got pretty much, there's a lot of different aspects in multiple trades. You got plumbing as far as, I'll explain more in a second on that, but you have some plumbing that you have to deal with, electrical you have to deal with, you have mechanics that you have to deal with, and physics. It doesn't just, it's not a plug and play. You have refrigerant chemicals involved.
Yeah, because I remember one time, like, we were having a problem with our drainage system, and like the pipe is right by the front door. There's a puddle, so I told Scooter, I don't know what's going on. He's like, man, your thing's plugged. You need to switch out your filter. He goes, and I'll go over there and I'll just shoot it out real quick.
Yeah. So I can't just YouTube it.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You can, but like, you have to have
you're gonna be calling us, and about 30 minutes an hour, hey, mind helping me out. And the thing is if you're good with tools and stuff, man, some of it's simple. It's just especially in our industry, I feel like people get in over their heads really quickly. Scooter, he can testify to that. It's just, Scooter's here, by the way.
Yeah, he's all off camera.
But yeah,
Scooter was in the picture too the other day when we won first place last weekend. He ain't played a tournament in like 4 months.
4 months.
Shows up. The last time he played with us, we went 0-3.
How you do, man?
He did good. We're out there having to spot a bunch of runs to them E teams cover it. Yeah.
So if somebody, like for example, a house owner is having a problem with their heater or AC, they get on the phone, they find you guys because they saw this episode, they call you guys, they say, I'm having a problem with my heating AC.
Yeah.
The tech shows up, there's a certain routine checks they do? Is there?
Yeah, so what I'd say first off is most important and the most expensive component in your house, believe it or not, is usually the air conditioning system. There's typically 2 to 3 major components involved, and they cost several $1,000s, right? So I always try to relate this, and you're into fitness, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can relate this to fitness or even your vehicles, okay? So if you maintain your body, if you work out, your longevity, your life, you're gonna live longer, right? If you take care of yourself. Same thing with your vehicle. If you get we're required to get our vehicles inspected. They don't require you to inspect your air conditioning, right? So some new homeowners don't even know where their filters are. So if they sit in there for a year, I guarantee within a couple of years they're gonna have a huge repair in their hands, only because they didn't maintain it. The best thing, easiest thing to do is just call a local AC company. And I'd say look at reviews. Reviews matter. Okay, you don't have to go with the most expensive company, and call around and just get some pricing and figure out what company, or if you know someone that you trust, whatever. And and I say that with a grain of salt because there's a ton of good technicians out there, and it's not the company's fault sometimes if the technician didn't do their job right, because there's a few technicians out there that just don't know the job as well, you know. Beyond all that, so I'm kind of rambling, but get your system maintained, I would say twice a year. Okay, so in the spring and in the fall are the most important times to do it, because if you maintain your air conditioning system in the spring before summer hits, you're equipped and you're ready to go for the summer, right? And if anything's going on, that's when, if we can catch it ahead of time, one, you're going to get a better deal because we're already there doing the maintenance. Two, it's going to save you money on sometimes a bigger repair. So if it's something small that's going on, that there are a million things. There's a ton involved with air conditioning. I could go on days about small components that can go bad, but just know this: any small component that goes bad, that could affect a bigger component later on if it's not addressed, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's like getting your checkup at the doctor, you know. Nobody wants to have a heart attack. Well, they wouldn't know that that's a possibility unless they're going and getting checked up at the doctor, right? And again, I'm not trying to relate it on that level. I'm just saying it's all about maintenance. It's about maintaining anything. And an average price for maintenance, I'd say, is, you know, anywhere from $100 to $200 a year for a yearly maintenance, meaning they come out in the spring and in the fall. And compared to a $2,000 repair or a $10,000 replacement, that's saving money, and it lengthens the lifespan of the system.
Yeah.
You know, so
what's the most common problem that, like here in Texas, that people have with their ACs?
I'd say the most common issues are one, lack of knowledge, and that one, you need to replace your filter. And a lot of people I've walked into houses and they haven't replaced their filters for 2 years, man. Yeah. And one, not only does it affect your system, but you're breathing this air, right? So if you don't change your filter, and let's say you have the flu, you got whatever allergies or whatnot, it sticks to that filter. Well, after it gets clogged, it'll start to pull those particles through, and then you're recirculating those viruses, bacteria, dirt, dust, all, and you can get sick again from it because it's in your air. You're breathing that air, right? So some of those common things, I would say filters, definitely replace your filters. That can affect the entire system, and that can cause a huge failure if you don't. Not to mention, you know, physical side effects. Let's see, other problems are like, let's say, current regulators, your capacitors outside on your air conditioning systems, just because we run them so hard. A lot of times those will go out. You know, depending on the age of the system, it might be more frequent than not. But again, that's why if you maintain it, you get somebody in there and we can clean stuff up, make sure that you get a little bit longer life out of it, and you're not going to be replacing the smaller components as quickly. So,
because man, especially June, July, August, those things non-stop running.
Oh yeah, man.
Freeze up
for sure. And when you call, it's a lot of times, man, companies are 2 or 3 days out, you know, and then you're paying a lot more. And you don't even care what the price is when they get there. You just want to fix.
Yeah, you've been burning up.
That's the worst case scenario for anybody to be in. Now with our company, we run 24/7, and I'm not saying companies take advantage. I'm just saying companies get busy. Yeah. They can't give you as big of a deal during the summer a lot of times as they can during the winter because they're slow. Their guys are just sitting around.
I worked in the car wash industry, so like as a ticket writer, our managers would be rainy, slow days. They'd be like, tell them we're doing 2 for 1 on details. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same way compared to a day where it's a Saturday, it rained all week. Well, they're not going to do deals because so many people are just coming through. So I know exactly what you mean on that point.
Exactly. It's just like any other industry, man. If it's slow, the guys are sitting around. I mean, that's money going out of the company's pocket, and why not at least pay for the guys, you know, to be there and whatever. Not to mention, man, I mean, that builds more business when you can help people out like that. So,
who do you guys like partner up and work with the most? Would you say like realtors? Would you say roofing companies, gutter companies?
I'm kind of all over the spectrum. I do a lot of networking. I always have. It's actually kind of how I started building the company beyond what I was just getting naturally and through people I knew. The realtors are a key source, just networking in general, but obviously other trade services inside the house, because we're 90% residential, 10% commercial. We can do work on the biggest and baddest systems out there. The problem is you have to be outfitted for it. So we don't really try to market a whole lot in that direction, but during the winters, we'll take some bigger jobs. We'll handle them. But, you know, during the summer, we would just get way too backed up to handle any big commercial stuff. So, you know, yeah, realtors, sorry, I ramble, man, but realtors, plumbers, electricians, all that. And in fact, we've got a list of people that we usually recommend when we're out there, if anyone asks, because we get that a lot too. A lot of our customers know me personally, they know Scooter personally, they'll ask for, you know, one of us personally or one of our other guys.
Because they trust you guys.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah, it's pretty much anywhere. Like, you refer to someone in any business, be like, I'm looking to do CrossFit with my cousin. Like, I want to join a softball team. You get what I'm saying? Like, so anyone that asks me about, I need my AC unit repaired, I'm going to tell them to hit up Scooter. You know?
yeah, for sure.
Now, your industries, I'm going to assume, but sometimes I'm wrong, is predominantly men.
I mean, it is. There's a lot more women now than there used to be.
Damn.
Yeah. Actually,
Get it, girl!
yeah, there's a lot of women business owners out there, actually. I've seen more of that than actual.
In the field.
And there's a few.
Tech.
There's been a few in the field, but there's more now than there ever has been. But I'm telling you, there's a lot more women business owners in our industry now than I've ever seen, man. It's crazy. Yeah. And it's good. I mean, you know, honestly, I think it's probably better for the company.
You ever had anyone fall through the roof? The ceiling?
The ceiling. I've fallen through the ceiling a couple times. Scooter, have you ever fallen through? Yeah, I think he's fallen through once or twice.
Refrigerator.
It happens, man. It happens.
I was putting on, man, I was probably about 18, 19. I was working with Joe Martinez, and we're doing
Some wiring.
wiring. We did the security systems, like for the alarms on the window. So it was house already built, and they do like the surround sounds for like the theater room. So he's like, go in there and do it, man. And then the insulation was like waist deep.
Oh, dude, I hate
So I had to go run a wire. So I'm feeling it, the board. I step on one foot. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm on one of the beams. So I bounce. Cool. I take 2 steps. Boom. Fell through.
Oh,
and when I
geez.
fall in the stairwell.
Dude.
But lucky enough, it was one of the ones that kind of turned. So I landed right in the middle where I didn't just fall down all
You actually went
No,
all the way through.
all the way through.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
And then Joe was like, you fell through the ceiling, didn't you? Yep. And all of a sudden, here comes the realtor through. He goes, man, I had this house. I got to get the drywall people in here to repair this.
That's crazy, man.
I was like, I fell through a roof. And I'm like on the ground. Yeah, neither one of them. You fell through. He goes, you fell through the ceiling, didn't you? I said, he goes, stupid. And the dude runs around. There, boy, I'm just laid out and get up. Now get
Don't worry, guys, I'm all good.
Get back up in there, find the beam, and bring me the wire. Get up the stairs, right back to the attic.
Absolutely, right back to it, man. They're just saying in our industry, it's if you fall through the ceiling, you're fired before you hit the ground. Not really, but
it's to keep you from continuously doing it. But yeah,
sure.
If it wouldn't have been for the installation, I would have been all right. But like I said, the house complete, like most houses, they just had it thrown out there. So I'm like waist deep. I cannot see through it, and I'm not about to dig through waist deep insulation, have it on my face.
it's slippery up there sometimes too, man. You're on a 2x8 or 2x6. I mean, you're talking a 1.5 inch thick piece of wood that you got to balance on, you know, and you got to walk across the attic sometimes. They just, dude, I've seen it a million times.
Now, is there a certain type of employee, if somebody were to first go to get a job, that you prefer? Certain traits you look for?
Experience now. Just, you know, I've been in the industry so long. I don't train that many guys only because I know a lot of guys in our industry, and I know a lot of the better technicians out there. And you know, a lot of times when I'm hiring, you know, I know some of them are looking, and I'll go after experience. But that doesn't, like, you know, Scooter started out with me and didn't know anything, you know. So I'll take a risk sometimes, but I think for me the biggest quality could be at least their work history or their work ethic. Okay, so, you know, wanting to run out the door at 5 o'clock when it's during the middle of the summer. I mean, I work 18-hour days during the summer sometimes. Sometimes it's, you know, 10 to 8, and I'm not kidding either. I'm telling you, I work on 10 to 18 calls a day sometimes, and I get up early and I go to bed late because of it. but I get out there with the guys and I push myself it's harder than I ask them to go, right? But the guys that are willing to just keep going and keep hammering out these calls to help out our customers, those are the ones that get, they've been around the longest. Scooter's a prime example of that.
Yeah, there's times we miss games because of calls, tournaments, all that. But it's the summer, it's Texas, so that's a big thing. I know my friend up north in Maine, he said some houses don't even have AC units up there. It's like, kind of little, it's like,
I don't know if I could ever live without an air conditioning system, man.
Yeah. Because up there, it hits 90 and they're dying. Over here, we're hitting 90 and we're ain't nothing. I wish it was 90. I'm tired of this cold and wet weather. Like,
dude, I use my AC system when it's like 75 outside.
Yeah.
I keep mine at 68 degrees.
It's like Texas right there. That's how it's done down here.
Yeah. Well, I think we've covered most of the bullet points on that. Hopefully we answered some of the questions.
Yeah, so any other questions, feel free to message us here on the show and we'll get up Scooter or Chris to get answers. Yeah. And also, too, just if you need get in that time of year where you're going to need AC work done. I recommend these guys right here. So I've known them, their business is good. Check out their reviews on them and give them a call.
Now it's time for some of these questions we have from the show. Let's see. Our first question, restroom courtesy. Flush or not flush as a courtesy when using the restroom? What are your thoughts?
Flush.
Flush?
I hate it, like, in them toilet where the ones, like, let's say Quick Trip, and they have the motion sensor ones, because you in there ripping them out, and they just, you can't. I ain't gonna lie right now and then
I can never figure
wipe
this
real
out.
quick,
Man.
and I'll get up, I'll wipe real quick, get up, take a step. I'm trying to kill everybody. I wish people at BLD would learn that. You go to BL's Big League Dreams, Mansfield. I thought those restrooms are horrible. Guys, what are y'all doing in there? So JV, her first time out there, she'd never been. I come out and I'm like, man, that restroom's bad. She didn't it's that bad. And I said, so we're walking out and the men's restroom is by the exit. So the restroom door opens, the exit doors opens, the wind comes out. And she
no.
I'm like, we deal with that every time. I'm thinking about, since my hair is long, just identifying as a female using y'all's restroom.
You can claim as one nowadays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But definitely flush. You down one, you drown one.
I didn't start seeing this until I went to the CrossFit gyms. Now, I don't know if it's just women to do this. There's a lot of women who won't use the restroom if another woman's using the restroom. Like they won't two-stall it up.
Really?
I'll talk to you.
I thought that was weird, or maybe they're just weird in my gym. But they'll stand by. One will go in, use the restroom when she comes out, the next one will go in. Even though there's 3 or 4 stalls.
That's crazy, man.
Now, I do got to say this. Like QT Racetrack, they keep theirs pretty clean. Versus a 7-Eleven, you go to 7-Eleven, you're just like,
QT's probably the best one. But incarcerated, literally sometimes you'll be this close to each other.
For sure.
Dude,
no doors, nothing talking, but
me and Chris right there, dang, I forgot my toilet paper on bar ears. You're like, yeah, bro. That's definitely stay on the button. Especially when you're locked up in the cell with your cellie, you're like, oh no, that spread hit me. You're like, nah, bro, we got about 5 minutes till we get out. Like, nah, I gotta go. It's like, hell nah. Hurry up. Yeah.
Alright, so what's the census? I said flush, you're flush.
I'm going flush.
Flush.
Definitely
flush.
Scooter.
Flush.
Next question. Cell phone talk. Cell phone talk while using the toilet. Is that a yay or nay?
This is a yay. I'm in there Snapchatting, playing games.
I feel like it's like a part of us now, right? I don't know.
I know everybody's on their phone. There's memes about it while you're on the toilet scrolling.
I could see maybe using it, but But I don't know about talking on it.
I will
Yeah, maybe.
conversate with you.
I've been-
I
I guess it's come from
Yeah.
I'll be on
being
FaceTime.
incarcerated. Yeah.
FaceTime!
Every now and then, there's a couple of my friends like we'll get each other and we'll take a picture. Like you'll see the pants down there.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. I got the idea from you,
Great.
from LA Fitness. Talking about thinking of you. What guy did you get into at that time? It was another manager, and he told Felipe he got wrote, or they were trying to write you up. He told what manager was that? It was one in Richardson. But he told him, he goes, you know what? Every time I use the restroom, I think of you. He goes, you know what? I'm going to go use the restroom right now. I think of you. So the manager, who was it, Kurt Lynn?
Yeah.
He's like, did you tell this guy? He's like, no. I said, I got to go use the like,
Yeah, so I got into an argument. So I signed a member up at my gym. And I guess that manager from Richardson had promised them a deal. But I kind of persuaded him to take my deal. So when he found out, he canceled the deal and wrote them up a cheaper deal. And he called me and said, you backstabbing,
Wow.
yada, yada, yada. And I was like, you know what? And I didn't want to say any cuss words. So I was like, you know what? Every time I think of you, it makes me want to use the restroom. Matter of fact, I'm going to go use the restroom right now. And I was being like smart ass by saying these words. But I guess I don't know if he was like some sort of like religion guy, but he went off and told his VP. And the VP called me and said, Mr. Rodriguez. I used to call him Mr. Felipe. I got one question for you. Did you tell one of my managers that you thought of them while using the restroom? I was like, what are you talking about? Are you asking me if I thought about somebody while using the restroom? I would never say that. And then later I said, yeah, that's what I told him.
That's what he did. I can't remember what guy was that. I cannot remember his name. But he was like,
I can't either.
super douche.
Yeah.
So we all worked at different LA fitnesses. So like the managers sometimes would just get into it. We'd be fighting over deals. Like I remember Richardson used to get mad when I worked in Plano and we get too close to like their stomping grounds. We're like, dude, we're in Plano. You're in Richardson. We're right next to each other. You do not own this shopping.
Yeah, they had like, I guess in sales sometimes you got to make rules because you get some really aggressive guys. Well, I happen to be that really aggressive guy when it came to sales, and I would go into other people's territories and I would sell just because I was just ruthless that way. But
Well, if you're good at your job, man, you're offering a better deal than somebody else.
You just talk him into it. Some people are like, eh.
All right, next question. Instagram filters. People who always use filters on their pictures. What are your thoughts?
I can't really chime in on this one. I don't even know how to use Instagram.
If I do use a filter, it's like a team picture and the lighting's bad. So I'll move it so you can actually like see the faces. But I know like some of my female friends, they're like a beast at what they do. And it's like, why are you catfishing these people? We even make a joke. I'm not going to say who it is and all that. But one of my friends is mad at her boyfriend because he's always liking this girl's picture.
Oh.
I was like, have you ever seen her in person? She's like, no. I said, I ain't gonna lie, I like her pictures too on there because anybody's picture, like you like Buddha likes everyone. So I do. I see you take a picture and you're like, you're feeling yourself. I don't know, guy, girl, whatever, click, I like it just to help boost your ego. You know what I'm saying? So I tell her, have you ever seen this girl in person? I'm like, when I first saw her in person, I was like,
Is that you?
I said, and I was like, then I asked, whose bag is this? It was a roll bag in our dugout, and it was in the way where I always set mine. And I know it wasn't none of my teammates, so someone goes, oh, it's so-and-so's. I picked her bag up, moved it, and then I seen her come back and get it, and I was like, my bad. And if I ever catfishing the girls, I'm fat with nappy curly hair. I got a lot of grays. I don't hide it. You know, gray on my goatee. I'm old, man.
I think the only filter I use is this beard because when you shave it off, you don't even want to know. You don't even know who I am anymore. But yeah, I notice a lot of nowadays women would use the hell out of those filters, dog filters, cat filters.
Yeah, some of them I understand like with that they're fun, but some of them you're like,
they're really deceiving, man. I don't know. I don't think I agree with it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even brush my hair. Imagine if I used the filter with my hair, my locks just flowing. glistening. I remember Aunt got a picture of me like that. We were playing a roulette league, and the sun was literally just bling off my hair. I guess I used my sister's shampoo that day, or my niece's something. But yeah, definitely filters. People use filters, you know.
Scooter? No,
Scooter be using them filters.
I'm not a big fan.
You use those filters,
I
man.
don't use no filters. I barely post.
I'm saying if you post with your filters, I'm gonna like them, and if I see you in person, I ain't gonna call you out on it. I'm just gonna go about my business, but they are very deceptive. Very deceptive.
Yes, they are. All right, looks like we have a question for Buddha.
Hey Buddha, episode 7, you talked about a Latina chick that you saw in Mass a couple of times. Did you shoot your shot?
So that, if you've seen the show, I said I was going to shoot my shot. And if I got shot down or I got an answer, I wasn't going to say nothing. So,
Guess we'll never know.
guess you'll never know because that's just something I kind of keep there. But let's just put it this way. Like if any girls are actually interested in me, if you don't go to Mass on Sundays, the chances of you landing the most popular guy on the softball team, it's kind of hard. I don't care if you better be a AAA conference girl, and I might think about it. But other than that, because I really don't go off looks, and anybody knows I like healthier, thicker girls on the bigger side, you know.
Yeah, we know.
That's what he said. Yeah, we know. I'm just saying, like, that's just my type.
Okay,
but,
so if they're thick and they're healthy,
yeah,
what else?
you gotta go to Mass Catholic.
Okay, she goes to church. What else?
I would prefer that she be Hispanic,
Okay.
and
The softball thought.
no, definitely not the softball. That was the case. Anyway, I don't holler at softball girls because I coach. So I don't want girls to be like telling other girls like, man, I went to play with him and he hit on me the whole time. Like I'll do some flirting because that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'd be nice. I kind of play around, but now if I'm gonna say with my quote again. If I wanted to holler at drunk women with bad morals, I'll do it the old-fashioned way and go to a bar. And softball girls, y'all know I love y'all. It's not all y'all are bad like that.
But
the ones who are,
would it be nice if she knew how to cook?
oh yeah, of course.
You mean the basics?
Right? Yeah.
Basics.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't know how to do the basics nowadays.
I'm just,
Dude,
man,
hardly any of them.
really, I'm boring now, so she got to want to stay at home. I'm old. I done partied out. I don't go nowhere. Like Scooter still likes to go out, and he invites me all the time. It's like to get me to leave the house, it's got to be a softball game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'll go kick it at a tournament all day long. Any other day, it's like. Even last week, they were mad when we went to the bowling alley. I didn't want to be there. I'm like, it's 10:30. I want to go home and go to sleep. Like, go home and go to sleep. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go there and just put on TV, chill with my dogs. They're like, what? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm not look-wise, like, just don't catfish me because I don't want to show up and be looking more like Freddie Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny you say that because when I first got out of the military, I had gotten a job as executive protection where we used to guard these executives because straight out of the military I didn't have many choices to become a cop or do security work. And luckily I got this corporate job protecting these executives, and we would have this base on top of this high-rise building, and they would supply us with suits and everything. And back then, when AOL had just came out, I didn't know anything about computers. It was just straight dial-up. And
his screen name on there was "Let Me Dig."
So I went to work one day, and I see my roommate. He's straight out of the Army. He was a computer geek. And I hear him laughing on the computer. And I'm like, dude, what are you laughing at? Like, what are you doing over there? And he's like, dude, I'm talking to this girl online. And I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, those people are fake. Like, you have no idea what they look like. So he gets on there and he shows me a picture of her. And I'm like, dude, that's not her. A couple days go by. We go to the apartment. And lo and behold, there she is. She showed up at the apartment.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? So a couple days later, I'm kind of bored. I'm like, hey, where'd you go to talk to that girl? And he tells me about her. And I tried it. And I also see him on he was one of those guys who was just always all over the place. And he's on the phone talking to some girl, and he goes, you should get on this 1-800, talk to whatever. And back then, you would just dial, leave a voicemail, and you could find it on the green sheet. And so I decided to participate in this little game. So I go on there, I leave my voicemail, and one girl, I guess, liked what she heard. She clicked on it, and she left a voice message. And when I heard the voice message, it was, hi, my name is Janelle. But apparently the way she sounded a lot better than what I'm doing. So I was like, all right, she sounds kind of cute. So if I push the number and it goes through and it patches me into her. And, hi, so what's your name? I'm like, hey, so my name's Felipe. I just got out of the Marines. I'm doing a security job. Are you available later? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I get off at 2 o'clock. I'm just 5'6", 160 pounds. Got a goatee, black hair, short, physically fit. She goes, so you want to meet at the Richardson Mall? Like, yeah, I know where that's at. I can meet you there about 2:30, taking 30 minutes to get there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be wearing this long black shirt. I'm not going to say I'm thick. I'm not going to say I'm fat, but my boobs are pretty big. I'm like, okay. I like a decent sized set of hooters. And I just had my hair cut short because my ex-boyfriend, he liked it long. I'm like, all right, cool. So the way she's talking meant she kind of self-esteem's a little high. So I'm like, all right, she might be looking pretty good. So back then I had a beeper, the beeper days. And so I show up, I get to the payphone, I get the message. So I call the number on there, and I'm on the payphone. And I hear the phone ring on the other side of the payphones. So I'm kind of looking around. She picks up the phone. Hey. I'm like, hey, just got here. Is that you in the suit? Yeah, I don't see you. It's me right over here with this black shirt, short hair. And I look across the phone, and in my head I'm thinking, please don't let it be that short meatball with short hair. Because she looks nothing like what she just described on the phone. And then she leans over by the phone, gives me the wave. Hey, and I'm like, oh my God. I literally close my eyes for 5 seconds and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know this girl. I could hang up and run. And I never have to see her again. But then a part of me, that little angel comes out like, don't be like that. Give her a chance. She worked hard for this. So I walk over there. She gives me a hug. She's holding me tight. And I'm still regretting this decision. And then she looks up at me and she goes, so what do you want to do? Go back to your place? And I said, you know what? There was a movie theater right down the street. Let's go check out a movie. I'm still trying to be nice. I'm still trying to be cool. So I grab her hand, and without letting her think, I start pulling her. We're walking towards the movie theater across the street from the Richardson Square Mall. We walk over. All the movies had just started. I'm looking. I pick one. And back then it was a movie called She's All That. So we walk in there. It was like the fourth row of the movie theater. We sit there. It's halfway in the movie, so we missed the commercials. The place is packed. We sit down. And as soon as we sit down, I'm into this movie. And I just feel her staring at me the whole time. And at my peripherals, I would just kind of like, kept. And as I'm sitting there, I just feel her hand right on my thigh. And it slowly starts sliding up my thigh. And I'm like, oh my God, this isn't happening right now. And I'm still looking at the movie, and it's slowly going up. And finally, I intercept it, interlace, and pull her hand down. And I literally look right at her, and I'm like, shh, this is a good part. I seen this in the previews. And I'm just doing this. And I swear, I'm so nervous, like sweat's dripping, like, I'm going to have to fight this girl. When the movie is over, everybody's getting up. I literally get up. But she's strong enough She uses her weight and she pushes me down.
Oh no.
And she wants to sit there. And she's holding my hand. And I'm watching everybody like leave. And it's like the longest 2 minutes of my life. And as people are getting up and the cleaners are starting to come in, I'm thinking in my head, I got to say something to get out of this situation. So all of a sudden I do this, you know what? Let's go before I do something I'm going to regret later. She's like, oh my God, like what? I'm like, let's go. So I get up and I start pulling her out the door. And then she stops me like mid-arm and I turn around and she's like, so does this mean we're a couple? And right there in a few seconds, I'm thinking in my head, I just got out of a relationship. I want to give you 100%.
That reminds me of an old boy and old girl at Town Lake. So am I your girlfriend? I'll blast upon you.
Yeah, so I tell her that. We go walking. I start doing the whole fake 911 page on my beeper because you could push a button to it would vibrate. And I'm like, oh my God, my roommate is locked out of the apartment. You got all that out of a pager beep? Yeah, 911. So I walk back to my truck and I'm like, hey, look, it was nice meeting you. I give her a hug and I sit in my truck and I was like, but I gotta go, 911. I totally forgot he didn't have his key. So I turn on my truck and right when I go to shut my door, she looks at me and she goes, before you leave, something to think about. And she just whips him out in the parking lot and puts him down. I'm like, all right, thanks, gotta go. Turn on the car and I haul ass home. The problem was I accidentally gave her my home number. So we used to have the voicemails back in the days. So when I get home, Buddha and my brother are playing the Nintendo 64. They're playing wrestling. And when I get home, they're like, hey, dude, some girl keeps calling you, leaving a voicemail. I'm like, don't answer. So yeah, that was my first and last time dealing with that kind of episode.
Don't listen to that. Do not. My baby's mom, he met a girl online. Her family went out of town for Thanksgiving, so he's like, hey, you can come over here and chill with us. It was our ghetto Thanksgiving. We had to cut the turkey with my butterfly knife. So, alright. So we'd always bug her, bring a homegirl, bring the worst mistake of my life. Nah, I love my son. My baby's mom, Kimberly, I think I have you blocked, but if you do watch this episode, you could be friends. Or I think we're friends with Sarah on Facebook, so she might actually come across this and see it. But yeah, that's how I actually met my son's mom, was through him and American Online. So don't listen to it. It's like the turd in the cupboard. They said we got to talk to the other witnesses there to make sure it wasn't.
That's on another episode, so if you haven't seen that episode.
That was our first or second episode.
Yeah.
Right before, was that Winter Worlds, the second Winter World? But yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty much it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate
Chris here forever.
Chris coming out.
And I'll tell my story about the time I got attacked by a big girl at Texas Stadium. We'll save that story for later, but we forget about it. Just like the girl, what was her name that asked that question, by the way?
Jessica.
All right, Jessica. I don't know. I may tell y'all what happened. I actually did see the girl today at Mass there at St. Jude, so she was there today. But I don't know. I may tell y'all what the deal is with that in the future, maybe.
Seems like you guys have to stay tuned for another episode on that one.
Yeah, both of those.
But other than that, I'm Felipe.
And I'm Buddha.
We'll see you guys later.
If he could do it,
This isn't a movie.
he believed in himself. And you can too.
Oh man, you gonna put it on me like that?
You can do anything that you want. You can get singing lessons, get a better job, make more money. You could be even like rich. You could live in the White House someday. You could be president.
Me?
Do what you want to do.
You're
It's not
not.
about it's not up to other people.
It's true.
It's up to you.